I believe that every entrepreneur is the role model of tomorrow. Entrepreneurs are a really interesting breed because they're able to imagine things, they're able to bring the things that they want into being because they've made a very clear decision. And you may be an entrepreneur listening to this, and as an entrepreneur, you've made these decisions. The decision is to be responsible for your own life, to be an economic adult, to take responsibility for your own security. But see, for a lot of us, we don't realize that when we take responsibility for our own security, we have a lot of habits, we have a lot of leftover thoughts that we used to operate by that don't really work in the world or the environment that we're in, being an entrepreneur. A good example of that is how we structure our time. So if you look at the old way that we structure our time, it's like a system where we have a 40-hour week and we operate like an employee where the whistle would blow and then the whistle would blow at the end of the day. And that's basically how we'd organize our time. And we basically would get something every 2 weeks. We would get a paycheck, right? And so we relied on this in the workplace. And we did this so that we could provide security. We could provide security and safety to ourselves. We could provide security and safety to a family. But you see, this way of organizing our time doesn't really work for entrepreneurs. And the reason it doesn't is because entrepreneurs are very much like artists. They're like showmen. They're like athletes. And if you think about how athletes operate, you'll know very quickly that they have 3 different kinds of time. Okay? Number 1, they have something called maintenance time. Number 2, they have something called high performance. And number 3, they have something called lifetime. And I'll see, I grew up in the entertainment business, so I knew, watching my dad being on stage, that he just did this automatically. And he'd look at it as normal. But see, in business, it's really not normal, but it's extraordinary what can come from it if we organize our time in such a fashion. So in our VAP coach program, we don't have a weekday and a weekend. There's no such thing. You're either on a day where you're getting ready for your best results, you're getting ready for all your money-making activity, or you're on a day where you are focusing on your very, very best work. And so just imagine that you're organizing your whole workday around things that just energize you. What would happen if you had a whole workday around things that just energized you? Wouldn't it be extraordinary? And then you have maintenance time. So let's say you have this day before where you're getting ready. Now in sports, we have practice. And then in business, now we can have rehearsal. But I'll bet one thing about you is true, and that is the way you operate your time is that you never have any time to rehearse. There's never any downtime. There's never enough time to have downtime. It's just too costly. But what if there were? What if you could get ready? Because you get paid for the preparation, you see. Not only the execution, but you get paid for the preparation. Now, our country is one of the only countries on the planet that takes the fewest amount of days off. We're almost lowest on the list. We have forgotten how to relax. We have forgotten really how to live, how to enjoy life. And so for an entrepreneur, this is a necessity. They have to have the ability to recharge, and we call that lifetime. And you know this because inside of you, you have a lot more things that you want to express than just your business. Your business can never behold that. But if you get caught up in a business where it becomes your identity and that's all that you do, and that's all that you're a prisoner of, then you might end up coming up short. You might have an unfinished life. So think of it like you have all this time, but you look at the way time goes as a quality time period. And so as you're having more days off, just before you're getting there, you're getting everything ready. You already do this when you're taking a trip, and when you come back, you are hitting the ground running because you have all this energy that you've freed up. So if you can imagine the cyclical relationship between the high performance time, and the maintenance time, and the lifetime, just imagine how you would operate. Imagine how your staff would receive you if you operated with that system. And that's how it works. And this is called the A&E time system.